Hi, Olamide.
Hi, good evening, good
Yeah, good
afternoon.
evening. Good evening, good afternoon. So let's wait for the others.
Mhm.
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good evening.
evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Right. Olaronke, Olamide, confirm you can hear me.
Yes, please, you're audible.
Okay. Abara, I've sent in a request, so it's time already. So Olaronke, over to you. Yes, please. Let's put on our videos. Okay. Abara, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening,
Okay.
Kings. Yeah.
Good evening.
Hi, okay. Good evening.
Hi, Abara. Good evening. Nice
I'm not sure I can say Olaronke.
Same
Good
here.
evening, Olamide.
good evening.
Olamide Badu.
No, don't do that. I am good.
Nice one.
Yes. Olaronke,
Hey, Olaronke. Long time no see.
we,
Your
ca-
audio.
we can't hear
Your
you. We
microphone
can't hear
is.
you. Okay. We can't hear you. Or is it just me?
Yeah.
No, her audio.
We can't hear
You're
you.
not audible.
Check if you're muted. Um, can you,
Maybe you should.
Olaronke, can you end the call and then rejoin? Yes. Something is wrong with your mic. We could hear you the other time. Good evening, Olamide. Good evening, Abara. I and Abara have been speaking to almost throughout today, so we're not seeing for
Oh,
the first time today.
I
Yeah.
hear that conspiring
Uh,
in case. Yes.
no. Olamide, I think we spoke. Did we speak today? No, we spoke
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing now? How is your city?
Fine. It's getting very warm, so everybody's happy.
Okay.
Hmm.
They said it comes with a lot of sicknesses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
just might and all that. Okay. Okay. Abara now, we are in the same Abuja. So you can tell them how Abuja is.
It's not becoming the headquarter of the capital city of hotness or heat
Hotness,
capital.
right? Each capital, yeah.
Yeah,
Abuja
that's
is
true.
so hot.
I
So
heard.
so hot. You don't want to even imagine or be here at this time. So I'm checking if Olaronke is requesting. Okay. Um, so this topic is a very interesting one, and when I look through the thoughts and just to select leaders who would be talking about their own experiences with friendships, I just identified the three of you. Yeah, Olaronke is back. Identify the three of you, and I know you have a plethora of experiences under your belt that you would want to share with us on your own friendship journey, navigating friendships, especially as a leader, because that's the whole focus, the leadership advantage, the friendship advantage.
Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
yes, we
Awesome.
can, yes, we can,
Okay.
we can hear you. Okay,
Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
good
Abara,
afternoon.
we have fight. Should we start now or we should keep it later?
Don't worry, just wait after. Just wait after.
Okay.
Let
I'm
me
ready
do
for
some
you.
press up. Let me do some press up.
Okay, no problem.
Well, okay, we've missed your voice.
Right. I've missed everybody, maybe. But good
Maybe,
to Olamide.
okay,
Good to see all of you.
okay,
Good to see you too.
okay. Yeah, great seeing you. So I was just giving us an intro to why we chose this topic. I mean,
Mm.
as Simon Sinek would say, he said we talk about leadership a lot. We talk about relationships. We talk about things like that, but we seldom talk about this particular thing called friendships, which for me is the bane of our society. It's the foundation of the civilized society. The reason we are different from animals is because we are in a group. We are in a group. We have a social group, and then we form friends. We form friendships from this social groups. That is why we are not animals. That is why we are humans and we are Homo sapiens. But now we are seeing with the recent trends, the trend of as technology gets more advanced, as the world gets more progressive, we are seeing this erosion of what we call genuine friendships. In fact, I was reading one one stuff yesterday online where where the lady said she's in love with Chat GPT. She's in love with Chat GPT. You can just browse it. I think is it Times? No, it's not Times. What it's just online. I'm in love with Chat GPT. That's the title, and it's quite interesting. It was I was just it's not surprising because with my background in sociology, this sort of things you would know where the society is headed because of things like generative artificial intelligence and other kinds of artificial intelligences there are out there. So we are seeing an erosion of friendships. We are seeing people who do not want to be friends with anyone, and we are also seeing people on the other spectrum of the paradigm who actually crave genuine friendships, but it seems they are just alone in this world and they are just crying out, "Oh, how do you guys make friends? How do people actually make better friendships? How does the whole friendship thing work?" And that is why it's very important for us to have this conversation outside the world of, "Oh, we are trying to save the world, we are trying to be better leaders and all that." But actually, being better friends with someone makes them better leaders. And that is my own opinion, and you can beg to differ, but that is my own opinion that being a good friend makes one a better leader. So that's why we're having this conversation tonight, and I'm definite. I've chosen three of my best leaders, and I'm definite that our audience would have a great time. This session is going to go on YouTube, so it's going to be here forever. So let's let's make it as fun as possible. It's not all serious talk. It's not all serious talk. I did not bargain to anchor this session. Olaronke handed it to me, but no wahala. So Olaronke was supposed to be anchoring this session, but I'll try to do my best. I'm not much of a good anchor, but I will try to do my best, and I hope I'm fun enough. Welcome to everyone joining in. It's great having you all join us at this time. I can see a lot of our leaders on the call. Thank you for joining in. You can share the link on your platforms, whatever platform you're on, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever platform you can. Please share with your friends. Tell them this session has gone live, and it's going to be an exciting one. So it's 3:10 p.m. Nigerian time. Olamide, why is your face like that? How do you feel?
I am expectant.
Expectant. Have you eaten? I said I will blast you on
No,
this call.
actually.
You've not eaten. Why?
No, not yet. Just,
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
good member, so you get it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Olaronke, I know Olaronke has eaten.
Uh-uh. Why did you just conclude like that?
Your radio is showing, "Oh, I've eaten." That sort of thing.
Oh my God. Okay.
Abara,
Mm,
Abara would have eaten now. Family man.
I can't relate.
So we have two family people here now, Olaronke and Abara. So it's going to be a great conversation. So let's
Really?
let's um let's
Look at
kick
the
off.
shock on her
Yes.
face.
Oh wow, that's why she has beef with you. So you guys will sort your beef later. Abara is a family man, no. A very good wife. Abara is a very amazing woman. She owes me
Wow.
soup, sha. So so let's start with the first question, right? There are a lot of definitions of friendships, and I want to believe everyone has their own definition. Everyone has that definition that makes sense to them on what friendship is. So I'll begin with Olamide. What does friendship mean to you? I mean, you had the definition of friendship when you were much younger. When you were much younger, you had this definition of friendship, and now that you are much older, what does friendship mean to you now? What does it really mean? Then we go from Olamide, we'll go to Abara, then Olaronke wraps it up for us. Please go
For
ahead.
now, I would say a friend is with someone with whom I have a close relationship with. People
Okay.
that I talk to, that listen to
Okay.
me, that are there. And I think the basic or the the main thing about it, I would say, is having a close relationship and with someone that I share my value with. So a close
Okay.
relationship that is based on core values that we have. So I'll keep my
Core values.
relationship. Yes.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Abara, please.
Okay. Well, just riding on what Olamide has said, for me, when it comes to friendship, like, of course, not in the sense of the word, everyone is my friend. Like, when I call you a friend, like, I mean, like, you're a friend. So
Yeah.
sometimes I see that it's like the way I'll treat my blood is the same way I'll treat a friend. And sometimes it really doesn't have to be, of course, we can stay like 5 years, we don't talk, but whenever we have to talk again, it's like we've been talking every day for the past 5 years. So there's that deep connection. Like, I know you, you know me. It's like, I don't know, it's something that I can really not put into words. And there are very few people within that category. And because for me, it takes years. Like, it takes,
Yeah.
yeah, it takes time. I can just meet you
Yeah.
once and strike the balance. But then there's that deepness. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you know your thoughts, not even being able to express your thoughts. So that's the way I describe my friends or friendship for me.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Olaronke, please.
All right, so I'm just going to write in on what Olamide and Abara has said. Like, I'm going to combine what they've said
Okay.
together because they like said some key things. So Olamide
Okay.
mentioned core values, and then Abara
Okay.
mentioned deep connection. I think it's the marriage of both of them for me. A friend is someone who I really connect with. If I don't connect with you, we can't even progress to the level of saying, okay, we share the same values, we share the same vision, or we want to even build something together. So that connection first has to happen. Then, for it to now progress, that's where if our values align, then I can say, okay, maybe I'm ready to grow with you. I'm ready to know you better. I'm ready to just be your friend. So before growing up, I just used to think that friendship was just, oh, I like this person likes me, we can just, that's all. But now, God, it's a whole lot of things. So I'm
Yeah.
very weary of calling people my friend. So just like Abara said that before it will get to that level of saying you are my friend, that deep connection should have happened. So
Yeah.
that's what a friend is for me. First, that connection. If I
Yeah.
connect with you, then we have the same values, we have the same, maybe not necessarily the same vision, but we have
Yeah.
sort of a bit of aspirations together. Then
Yeah.
that's who I call my friend. That's what friendship means with for me, being able to grow together.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Kingsley,
Okay.
just before you come in, I just wanted to add
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
thing,
Please.
and maybe this would help address that point clearly.
Mm.
Practical example.
Okay.
There was a time, I think that was sometimes early last year. My in-law
Yeah.
came visiting, and on his way back, for whatever reason or the other, he couldn't get to his place when he was supposed to. And I got this information at around almost 12 a.m. And we know the way Nigeria is now and all of
Yeah.
these things. And the state he was in, I knew that proceeding to where his final destination was not an option, and he needed a place to stay. Like,
Mm.
within that split of seconds of getting that information, just one person
Yeah.
came to mind. But the thing is, I hadn't spoken to this person for like 3 years, but this person is my friend. So I just called him. I said, guy, where are you? He said, he's not in town. I said, this is the situation. My in-law is in your state. In fact, my in-law
Yeah.
is in your place and he needs a place to stay. He said, okay, where is he? Just let me up. And within 5 minutes of that linking, he was able to contact his brother and say, my friend's in-law is in this place. Pick him up, take care of him, and he will continue his journey tomorrow. And like, for me, that was the height of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me,
Yeah.
that's what
Amazing.
friendship for me.
Amazing. 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 I love the
I
fact
have
that
one
before.
comma there.
Okay.
I have one comma in
Okay.
that too. I don't know, but I feel like it's so easy for men to have that kind of
Yeah,
friendship. You know,
exactly.
for me,
Yes. When
Okay,
you've not
but
spoken
now,
for 3 years,
yeah, but
right?
now,
like,
but now here's another backstory.
from where?
When I was,
From where
I
comments
think,
now? What are
yes,
you
but
saying?
yeah, here's another backstory. In 2013,
Mm.
my yeah, in 2013, that was my first experience with this kinds of deep connection. My mom, yeah, my stepmom friend who was also a nurse was going to another state for a conference, and for whatever reason, similar thing occurred, and she got to our place at around maybe 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. ish or thereabout. We were already fast asleep. My phone rang, and the next person calling was my dad. Said about somebody will calling you now. Your mom's friend is stranded. Please find a way to make sure she's okay. Like, so this is like women to women. You know, our friend, women and friendship could be.
Yes.
So when this thing happened, like, so that's the experience that I've grown up with. Because when we say you are a friend, like, well, we
don't need to talk every
get to the
day.
point of taking bullets. So you should be able to take bullets.
Sorry, just
I think. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I think it depends on the depth of the relationship. I think that's where we now
exactly. Exactly.
There are some people that might be like, okay, why? But then again, like, if you have friends that are like you, that you guys, it might not even be like you talk a lot of times, but you've developed something deep, something deeply rooted. There are times when, yes, my situations, circumstances, something will happen that you guys not have the opportunities to maybe talk as often. But there's something that you guys already share, that history, there's experiences and different things like that you can literally just draw from. And it exists between women. That one I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah, thank you very much, Olamide. I think that point you just raised, it's very, very important. I think it also depends on the depth of friendship. I mean, for me, what friendship means to me is actually mutual vulnerability, which just two words put together, mutual vulnerability. The fact that I'm vulnerable with you, you're also vulnerable with me. I think it also creates depth of friendship. I don't want to be that friend that I'm able to share everything with you. Look at Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ for me. Sorry, I'm going to everyone here on the call is a Christian, but I don't want to assume everyone in our audience is a Christian. But Jesus Christ had the multitude. Jesus Christ had the 70. Jesus Christ had the 12. Amongst those 12, Jesus Christ had the 3. Amongst the 3, he had the 1. Peter, upon this rock I will build my church. He did not give John. He did not. Even John was the beloved and all that. He knew different people. He knew what they could take. John loved him so much, but he did not put the church under John's care. He put it under Peter's care. So Jesus knew those levels of friendship. He knew that, okay, these are the 3 people that would go with me to Gethsemane when I would be my most vulnerable self. So I think friendships to me are in that sort of degree. The kind of things I will share. Abara is a very close friend that I've known for, I think, almost a decade now.
Yeah.
And the sort of things I will share with Abara, I wouldn't share with someone that I've known just maybe last week. That's okay. You know, you meet some people and you're just born. You'll be like, oh, since I've known you all my life, you've had those kind of experiences. But it doesn't mean that you just have your first meeting and then you're pouring all your life experiences, all your vulnerabilities. I mean, we all have dark past. Some of us even see have darknesses right now that we're trying to heal from. See, I love being real. I love being open and very, very, very real. So we have darknesses that we're trying to ask God to heal us from. So you don't just meet someone and then you just start pouring out on your first friendship date. This is what has happened to me. I saw one video where the girl was it was a romantic date and she was telling the guy that she had a lot of body counts, and I mean the guy was overwhelmed. I love you, but my love is not my love cannot take that. So it's not that deep. So I think friendship has to do with depth too. The thing Abara mentioned, calling a friend that has not spoken to for 3 years is also very important, because I don't have to talk to you every day, every week for that friendship to be in place. I can call you anytime and I know that you're there for me. You can call me 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I posted something like that on my status. You can call me anytime. That's what friendship means to me, mutual vulnerability. You should be vulnerable with me, and that is what friendship is. You're not hiding from when you're feeling pain. Like the thing you would not necessarily tell even your close family member, you would actually be open to tell me, because I'm there to listen. For me, that's actually what friendship means to me. And it brings us to the next question, because if you're looking at these degrees of friendships now, it now begs the question, how many friends do you have? Do you have many friends? To everyone of you on the call now, do you have many friends? Do you have few friends? Someone told me that she has just one friend. Someone else said she doesn't have any friends at all. They are just maybe acquaintances. They are just people that you meet on WhatsApp and you just text. And then some said, oh, I'm so lucky. I have a lot of good people in my life, so I have a lot of friends. So let's start with Abara first now.
Mm.
Do you have many friends, or have you been blessed to have many friends, or are you
Okay.
the guy that has very few friends?
So um, I'm in between because
Okay.
but for me, I value again. Of course, you know me for like since 2013. Yeah, 2013 is about. And so
Yeah,
2013, 2014.
2014. Yeah, 2014.
So I'm one who value very close circle. Like
Okay.
yeah. However, I just so you know this thing where you just have people just like Jesus, he had the 50, he had the 12, and then the 3 and the 1.
Yeah.
I think that actually also applies to me. Though in my case, I don't know if I have the 50s. I hope I don't have to deal with the 50s. But then yeah, but I think I do have the 12, and among the 12, I also do have the 3. But the one, that one, no. Yeah, for that one, just that one, I'm not sure
I am married.
because, for example, I have people who we've been together from pre-nursery. You know those kindergarten. Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
friend
yeah.
who we are that deep, and we would go away. Fate would still bring us back, like in so many certain times and ways, to a point we almost became what do they call it, roommates in the university without even knowing. I'm like, oh wow. So we have this kind of this in both male and female. Interestingly, so I would say I have the 12, I have the 3,
Mm.
but the one
You're still
I
searching
can't
for the
say.
one.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm searching or if I want to really
Okay.
search for that one. I think I'll be
Okay.
comfortable ending it at the 3.
The three.
But 3 doesn't mean they're
Okay.
just 3 though. Yeah.
Mm. Amazing. Thank you very much. Olaronke.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that um to be honest, I've not really been very intentional about my friendships since secondary school because like I had a heartbreak that nobody gave me, but I had myself. So it didn't make me very intentional. So I have just been very passive about friendships. But
Okay.
recently, I'm talking about maybe last year into this year, I have started becoming very intentional. So I would say I have people around me that even call me their friends, and it's heavy for me to say you are my friend, but they say I'm their
Ah.
friend, but I can't say you are my
Olaronke,
friend.
wait first, wait
So
first. Are we friends? Are we friends?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Ah.
That's what I don't know.
Ah.
I don't know, but I have one friend. I have one friend.
My
Call me
audience,
anytime.
my audience,
Eh,
are you people seeing? Olaroke says she's not anybody's friend on
That's
this
your
call.
No,
well,
no, I'm not
okay,
saying I'm
Okay.
not
so
anybody's friend. I said
she said she
there's
don't
some
know
people I
Ah,
have
anybody's
around that they call me their friend,
okay.
but I'm not like when I
Okay.
think of it in my
That's
own
what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying. That means I know your
yes.
friends. Nobody
No,
at the fault is your friend.
no, that's not how it is. But it's
Okay.
just me not being able to quantify all of it. Because if I'm to add those people,
Okay.
add the ones that I agree that they're my friends, I don't know how many I have, but I'm very sure of one, and that's my husband.
Okay.
So, but I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
other friends, and it's somehow in different levels, different environment, like say context. But see, the ones that I can say, oh, this person is really my friend, they are no more. If I have people that they are supposed to be friends. They're supposed to be my friends, and they're supposed to be many. So you can see, it's complicated.
yeah, I think that's why
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
if Facebook. I don't know if Facebook still have that feature. Relationship status is complicated.
It's
Seriously, I think they
complicated.
still have
Yeah.
it.
Olamide, please, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. I think thinking about it, I would say I have quite a number of friends, which is weird. Because when you asked the question, initially I was just going to say, nah, I don't have that many friends. But just thinking about it now, I can see that I actually have quite a number of them. Of course, they
Okay.
are also divided into cadres and all those
Yeah.
dynamics. But for an introvert, because I didn't grow up being intentional about friends as well. I didn't
Okay.
want people in my space, so like don't even be there in my space.
Yes.
But I think even with that, thinking about it, I think God has helped bring intentional people to me in a way that they were able to cover up for my lack of intentionality, such that I actually have them, and really I'm grateful. So yeah, I can say I have quite a number. I'm grateful. I'm very happy.
Okay. Okay,
Awesome.
that's good. That's good. That's good. I've always had friends. I think when I began to study deeply and then study different cultures, like for example, you're in Russia, Olamide, and
Yeah.
from what I recently learned, there is this thing with before you meet someone your friend, it has to take a lot of time. I mean, everyone can be acquaintances.
Yeah.
I learned it from someone you know already. Yeah. So I think different cultures define the way we see friendships. Different cultures define the way we see friendship. Me, I've always had friends. I've always had friends, but then when I began to grow up, I began to be more intentional about these friendships because really, friends. I feel friends make the world go better. Like friends make the world for me easier to live in. The world is a very wicked world. If you've not known on the call that the world is wicked, the world is very wicked, and you don't have to be a bad person to know that the world is wicked. Even with your goodness, the world will still show you shady. So yeah, Jesus was the best man, and then the world still showed him shaky. So French just make the world easier. That's why I'm still going back to Gethsemane, where Jesus took those three disciples, and he just wanted to be for his friends to be there to pray with him. And we saw what his friends did. They were sleeping at his most vulnerable moment. They were sleeping. I pray we don't have those kind of friends, but yeah, we are humans, and we would definitely have those kind of friends. Friends whom you've done something for, and the human mind would expect, oh, I've done this for you, so you should reciprocate. And then when it's your turn, they don't reciprocate, and the human mind would go, maybe I did this thing for you, why are you not doing this? And that's one error we also make in friendships. And I think that's one of the reasons friendships in our time is now sort of transactional. The fact that I did this for you, you too, you should do this for me. That's not really how friendships ideally should work.
Yeah.
And then we cannot deny the fact that real tangible friendships are actually eroding. People now, like I gave the example earlier, someone turning to chat GPT for friendship, romantic friendship in this case. Friendships are eroding. Friendships are eroding. And what do you think is the cause for this? The fact that we are not seeing that meaningful friendships. In the days of my grandmothers, my grandfather, even my mother, I mean, she had very, very good, they had this communal thing. But now with social media, there's a proliferation of friendships. There is this, it's a concept, I think it's psychological, called the individuation. The fact that because of social media, there's now anonymity because we can now be anonymous. We are now making friends online instead of real tangible friendships where I can leave my house and travel to Olaronke's house in wherever you stay in Nigeria. I don't want to mention, maybe you don't want to mention it, but wherever you stay in Nigeria, I know you're not in Abuja, but travel to your house just because I want to spend the weekend with you. I can go to Abara's place here in Abuja, come for the whole week and say, I'm coming to spend time with my friend. They used to do it back then, but now you can just call on the video call now and you're okay, right? And I think there's a problem with that. It loses that human touch. So aside what I've just mentioned, what do you think is what causes this erosion of real and tangible friendships that we are seeing? Someone would have friends today and tomorrow they are complaining on WhatsApp. I have those kind of people on my WhatsApp. They're always complaining about their friends. so, so what do you think is the cause for this?
Okay, sorry. Let me go first. Something came to mind as you were speaking, and I had to just write it down. I think it
Yeah,
also comes with the era, with the age we're in.
era.
There's
Yes.
this technological age where we don't have patience. We don't have a lot of, we feel like we don't have a lot of time to stay with something. And any reasonable friendship takes time, it takes effort, it takes deliberateness, it takes
Yeah.
intentionality. And all these things that I've mentioned, I think that people are not willing to give at this point.
Yeah.
Some people call it microwave generation. There was a time before you cook, you have to put, the firewood, you have to do this and that, and then you move to the stove. And even that one, you still have to set up some things. But right now, you just have to put things in the microwave. In under 2 minutes, you're eating. You feel like you're enjoying yourself. And the fact that we have that mindset already puts us in a place of danger, because we approach friendships like that. We approach relationships like that. We expect that things should just go rosy. So the first time you encounter a problem, you're like, oh no, this person cannot be my friend. We feel like everybody or everything is easily replaceable. You lost your phone, the first thing you're thinking about how to get a new phone. Like, we just throw everything away like that. And even people, we get to a place where we consider people to be very replaceable. And that's why you hear people say things like, oh, just stay where you're valued. All those things that people say that seem to have good sense, like when you think about it, that you're at first glance you think it makes sense.
Makes sense.
When you look at it
Yeah.
deeply, you can see the error, you can see the bias, you can see the I don't want to use the word stupidity, but
The anyowness of the words.
you can just see the foolishness behind it. And if we continue like this, if we actually believe, we get to come with that mindset that people are replaceable, get to come with that mindset that you don't have to put in a lot of work, then of course we'll just keep on losing friends. I think I'll stop there. I just get my element.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Anyone else wants to go? That's amazing. Abara,
Yeah,
Olaronke.
Olaronke go.
Hey,
Okay.
why me? But I really agree with what Olamide said. I
Yeah.
personally feel like okay, on a general scale, right? Friendship requires is work. Like real friendship that is not just transactional, that is not just because of what I want to get from you and what you want to give to me, that is genuine, is real work. And I think that you can't be that kind of friend to everybody. Personally, I feel that way. I've not studied deeply, I've not done any research, but when I look at friendships and coming to the reality of friendships and where I am now, I feel you can't be like that to everyone. So some people want to leech on you for that kind of friendship, but they will not be like that to you. Yeah. So me, I know that I can't even be like that to everyone. So I would rather choose who I want to be like that to, that's also going to reciprocate it to me, at least now, right? They now have that general skill of being friendly, because there is that genuine one that I don't think, if we're being realistic, I don't think everyone can enjoy that level of friendship from all of your friends. If you have 10 friends, like imagine how do you want to do? Because like being married, it requires a very high level of commitment if you want to do friendship on that scale.
Yeah.
But on the other scale, like coming down a bit, people are not really ready to do the work. Some people are not ready to be friendly to you, to be friends to you, but they want you to be friends with them because of what they can get. So I think that's why genuine friendship is eroding quickly, considering the times that we are in.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
But Kingsley,
You guys are deep. You guys are very deep on this call, and I hope our audience, Abara, you go. I hope our audience is actually getting something very, very deep. I'm getting a lot. See, I'm writing. Please go on, Abara.
I think the two ladies have really talked more about friendship. But just to add, really, they say friendship, sheep, friendship.
Sheep.
Yeah, and from my understanding, sheep don't fly.
Yes.
Ships don't run on land. Yeah, ships sail on waters. And like Olamide said, every pilot would know that. Water get as CBO. They say water no get enemy, but water get as CB. Yeah, just to put it simply. So
There'll be
different
tough
kinds
times.
of water. Yeah, you're navigating. Sometimes there'll be turbulence. Sometimes you might meet the rock. Sometimes you meet so many things. But you really have and sometimes people come with a lifeboat. They just come with, so that in case let me just try, like Olaronke said, let me just try. They say no work, I jump ship. And then what we don't want is really someone you call friend to leave you in that moment. I don't know. And I think that's why my concept of friendship really boils down to the military approach. If you have to watch my back, like you really have to watch my back. I don't have to watch my back because the world is too, like Kingsley said, it's too wicked for me to start thinking here and there. So for me, in a nutshell, like friendship is someone who can really watch. Can you watch my back? And in the military, that's why you see there seems to be this bond as well. You've gone through shared experiences, so you know that more if push gets to shove, I can always count on this person. And very few people are able to give that level of commitment. And that's why even as a person, it's not everybody you can do those kind of things for. So it was part of the reasons why I had to go with the Jesus approach. Like I can tell you for free, maybe among the three doesn't mean three numbers, but if you're in that circle, that inner circle, what I call inner circle, that my family know you, like my wife know you, all you need to do is just introduce yourself. My name is XYZ, and I am Abara's friend. Once you use the word I am Abara's friend, it's like a ticket. Like even if God forbid, you are not the person that you claim to be, but you use that word Abara friend, unless they hear from Abara, like they will treat you as a friend. Because that's the level of commitment that we've been able to build. And I think it's also the same commitment I've built around this circle of people. So that once I hear this person, but truth be told, it takes a while, it takes a lot of sacrifice. Like Jesus, imagine me throwing away the tree for sleeping. What would have become of him when he needed help? And interestingly, none of these three carried the cross for him. None of these three carried that cross for him. Not even the one carried that cross for him.
Yes.
So again, I've had to learn all of these things. Again, thanks to the help of the Holy Spirit. But again, I'm not Jesus. And I don't want to be Jesus ever. Because I know my blood will never save anybody. But when we get to all of these things, one of the things that it teaches me is that the best of man is man. So I've learned to make allowance for when people jump ship. And another thing about this friendship is people having so many friends. So again, you have options. In the world of options, why make the effort when I have options to put in the work? But if you know you don't have options, so many options, you put in the work. You put in the work to make it work. Because like you say, for everybody you call friend, it took a lot of effort to get to that energy. And it's a frequency. Shared experiences heighten the frequency. Till you get to the octave, the frequency where you know that no matter what happens at this frequency, we are all there. And I think that's the way it wants to be. And maybe another thing that is growth. Because if things grow, if you grow as friends, like when you grow, it's difficult to come back. But if you jump distance,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abara. I mean, like I said, you guys are loaded, and I do hope our audience, everyone in the audience is taking notes. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Now I want to go deeper. See the way my voice has changed now. I want to go deeper because I sent everyone on the group a lot of questions. I sent you guys questions because you have to be prepared. But I love when sessions are spontaneous. I pride myself in being someone that can ask you questions that can even make you cry. So if you cry on this call, it means I've done a very good job. So I won't make anybody cry on the call. I want to go deeper and I want to talk about because as leaders, we see ourselves I see everyone on the call as leaders, everyone in our audience as leaders, and the way we've seen leadership, the way we've conceptualized leadership is leaders do not show weakness, leaders always show strength. Leaders do not make mistake. I mean, if you're making mistake, you shouldn't be a leader. And then if you're making mistakes consistently, are you sure something is not wrong with you? You should actually just step down from leading. But the way I've actually read leadership, because I've read a lot of books on different leaders because of the material I'm currently writing, the book I'm currently writing, and the best leaders I've seen are those leaders that are able to talk about their vulnerability, the leaders that are able to have this shared experiences of shared community, where they have a community of people that they can share these vulnerabilities with. people might not know that someone like Martin Luther King had a weakness. People might not know that people that maybe like Mahatma Gandhi had weaknesses, but because of this community around them, it was not so pronounced. In fact, the second man to Martin Luther King might not be as pronounced as Martin Luther King himself. You remember the Bible where Holy Spirit reminded, I think it was Moses where he was holding his hand. I think it was all and Joshua, they were holding his hands, and
Yes,
then
sure.
the sun could not go down. Yes. So we need those kind of friends that hold their hands in moments of vulnerability. Personally, I went through that kind of vulnerability, should I say, a year ago. And every single one of you on this call, like not on this call, on this live call now, Olaronke, Olamide, and Abara, three of you were there for me, right? Abara came to my house. We stay in Abuja together. He came to my house, and three of you were there for me. Olamide, we've never met before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been met before. maybe you mistakenly seen me somewhere. Olaronke, we met just once.
Yeah.
We've met just once, but
Yeah.
we've been friends for the past 5 years, if I can count well. The three of
Yeah.
you were there for me in that really downtime. Abara came to my house, like I said, and it was a really, really bad time for me. I mean, as a leader, and in fact, there was a time I was considering stopping TFI, the work I do, because I was not in that frame of mind to do the work I enjoy doing. But friends were there for me. I have a friend in Canada that would call me every single day. Like she would call me at 1 a.m. It was not convenient for me. It was not convenient for me, but that the way time zones work. But she would call me every single day at 1 a.m. And for me, it just meant I was loved. It was not just about the Kingsley. I know I have my excesses. I'm not that perfect friend. I can be very interesting. I'm not the kind of friend you should even have. I can be very, very interesting. So, but it made me feel loved. But then there's a difference between that sort of vulnerability. And remember I mentioned mutual vulnerability when I defined what friendship meant to me. I also think friendship too it has to do with timed vulnerability. So I think my next question will be how do you handle being vulnerable in friendships? The fact that you can share whatever you want to share with your different cadres of friendship, and it does not look like a weakness because sometimes it looks like oh this guy is too weak, this woman is too weak. We all have that. Let me just bust your bubble. If you think the best leaders you've seen do not have it, the best models I have, the best of the best models I have those vulnerabilities. They have those weak points. They might not talk about it the way maybe some other people would talk about it, but every single leader, every single genuine leader, authentic leader has those moments of vulnerability. So how, in your own opinion, how do we navigate this? And then do you think vulnerability cannot relationships? Two questions in one. How do you navigate that in friendships? And do you think vulnerability can? You can share personal stories. Be free to share personal experiences if you will. Do you think that being vulnerable with your friend? Have you been vulnerable with someone before, and maybe they have to now start telling other people that oh this is what this person told me. It has happened before. You get and how did that make you feel? So just be free, speak your mind. Anyone can go first.
Okay, let me take the first shot at these things.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. Again, maybe as friends, as
Yeah.
leaders, those moments are we all have those moments. Like
Yeah.
we all have those moments. And sometimes the higher you are or the higher you go, the tougher or the
Yeah.
darker those moments are. Um,
Mm.
I used to hear that the schooler, the higher you go, the cooler it is. But from my experience,
the,
mm, my
the altar
experience
it
lets
gets.
me. So now,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, I'll speak for me as a person, and then also share my perspective. Yeah. For me, if I call you my friend, one of the things is that trust, because there's that mutual trust. It means you've been tested on every angle, and I know that even if there's a bullet on your head for you to spill the beans and do, to say those things, like you would rather take that bullet than to betray trust, loyalty. I don't know, yeah, trust, loyalty, all of those things, are trust and loyalty. And so I want to be that person who I would know that I have a clear conscience like my conscience is clear. Like no matter what happens, I did not betray trust. I did not betray trust. And so I would also want to have friends that I know that it won't get to a point where I'll have to betray trust. So the instance you said, we've had cases of people, just a slight issue, and then you say, maybe you will do that thing that time. Look at this one. Is it not you that, I begin to wonder, because for me, that's like the height of it.
Yeah.
Like that's the height of it. And again, temptations, trials are really what test this friendship. So if we've not gone through those process, it's difficult to trust that. Now, in terms of my moment of vulnerability, I think this was maybe 2015, 2016. And so many things happen. Yeah, so many things happening. But friends were there for me because friends were there for me. Those were people that held me up. There were people, and till tomorrow, you would never even hear about it. So how we share these things, like Olamide telling me something about all what she's going through and the likes of those things. The principle I use in my brain, the part of my brain that processes those information, is a part that even if you use those brain detector, those waves, this thing, you cannot find it. So that's the part of my brain that processes those information. And sorry, don't even ask me what you said, because it will be difficult for me to start processing and bringing those things out. I will bring what you need to know. Yeah, just what you need, but you cannot find it. Yeah. So that if for whatever reason I am drunk, or you want to extract those information from me, you cannot find it. You can't find those things. Because I believe that for someone to be vulnerable, I've been vulnerable before. So if for anyone to be vulnerable with me, it takes a whole lot of effort. And that's why sometimes they don't encourage friendship with the opposite gender, because in those moments of vulnerability, you can tend to become close, and from closeness, you don't tend to fall in love, catch feelings. And that's why when it comes to love, I say don't fall, grow. So because in those moments, for whatever reason, you can feel like hug from hug, you feel like kissing, and then you don't know what came over you. And once you've crossed the line, you've crossed that boundary, you can never go back again. So we try for it not to get to those points. But for anyone who is vulnerable to me, like I've had people who have done those things. Number one, you will not even know the people. Number two, you will not even know what kind of this thing. You cannot find it. And maybe I would like to hear from Olaronke's perspective. You believe that as couples, you share things. But for me, as a family, we don't talk about friends. For example, Kingsley is my wife's friend.
I think that's one thing I would love to hear. Please go on.
Please, I didn't hear.
So, for example,
what you said.
I said, couples say, we share everything, or we tell ourselves everything, or anything we talk or share. But for me, when it comes to friendship, there has to be. Listen, for example, Kingsley is my wife's friend, just like Kingsley is also my friend. But I can tell you for free that except I eavesdrop or my wife eavesdrop, they don't know. We don't know. I don't know what Kingsley discusses with my wife. Likewise, my wife doesn't know what Kingsley discusses with me.
I think that's very true, because do you know why I tell you to take that now? Because there was something I told you. I thought you told your wife. So I was asking your wife. I think Abara told you this, and she was like, "No, he has never that. She's just hearing it for the first time." I think that was the first time I was surprised. She couple do they share stuff again. You understand? Because I've grown up with this mindset that we are now one, so we share whatever thing I tell you, you share with your wife. The wife shares with the other, even if it's meant to be in quote secret. So I think you and your wife taught me that lesson that people are not sharing stuff like that. So I don't know if it's valid. I think I would need to do more research on that one.
Yeah, I would like to hear Oronke's perspective. But for me, as a person, based on principles, and it's also the way I want to run my family. So that if my wife has an issue with Kingsley in the course of their friendship, I shouldn't be dragging between all of those things. Or if I have issues with Kingsley, my family shouldn't be dragged, because it's just personal. We should be able to trash all of those things out. So that's the principle of which I build myself, because I will not be happy if I tell Kingsley something in confidence and I come to hear and for Kingsley girlfriend mouth. That's a major red flag for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's my own principle. Friendship. So imagine me being vulnerable to you now, or maybe I'm going through one form or the other. One of the dark side that God is helping me, and then There's some, yeah, of course I tell my wife, I'm very open. Of course, she has access to all of my passwords, she has access to everything. Yeah, and that's why I said, when it comes to people's vulnerability, the part of my brain that processes those information, even if you drop me and you want to extract those things from, it's not there. Like, it's
Okay.
not there. You can't
Okay.
find them.
God has helped you. Olaronke, please.
Okay. Hmm. I didn't hear some of the things Abara was saying. I think the network was fluctuating. But
Okay.
so now, am I talking about what Abara mentioned, or I'm talking about your own question now? Or
Just add both together. I want to hear from you. Can you tell your husband, for example, I tell you some things in secret, and then
mm,
do you tell your husband like those things I tell you, and then when people tell your husband something, does he tell you too? That's what Abara is trying to ask you.
oh, okay, I see. The truth is that when it comes to the marriage context, things are very
Yeah.
dynamical because you have to be very
Okay.
open, very transparent, and honest with your husband. But at the same time, it requires a very high level of maturity to know how to handle information.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
because I know something about Kingsley, and even if my husband finds out about it, it is not in his. That's like, for example, that's if he eavesdrop. Or, you were saying that, except if you eavesdrops on your wife, that's when you even know. So if at all something like that even happens, my husband is not going to come and like talk about it to Kingsley. No,
Exactly.
there is that clear distinction that we are a couple, right?
Maturity.
This is who you
Yeah.
are friends with. This is who I'm friends
Yeah.
with. Then we have the ones
Yeah.
that they are our friends. So that vulnerability part, when you come to tell me something, no,
Yeah.
it's hard, though, very hard, because
Yeah.
couples, the dynamic. I don't just want to spill some things here. The dynamic is very interesting because
Yeah.
the gossip, the things that you don't know, you have it with your husband. Deep
Yeah,
things. So,
Olaronke, I
but
remember one time too. I think a situation like this has happened too between me and your husband, right? Where I told him something and I thought he told you. Because that was the idea I had, like way back that couples talk about everything, and both of you are, thank God we have two couples on the call.
mm,
And my mindset was, couples talk about maybe even as maybe your romantic relationship, you might not really talk about stuff like that, but as a couple, you must talk about. That's the mindset I had. So when I told your husband something and I asked you if you can remember if he told you, you said no. I was surprised that waiting they happen. She couple say the thing don't change. Yeah. So I was
that's
actually surprised that maybe
that's
You didn't tell.
that's the, I don't know if I wouldn't call it a lie, but that's the
yeah.
story people have of couples outside, that, oh, they talk about
Couples. Okay.
everything and this, but there is a demand on you, especially if maybe you are in
Yeah.
ministry, or even if you both are career professionals.
Yeah.
There's a demand on you, a certain level of maturity that you have to be able to
Yeah.
process and keep information,
Information.
that you will be able to distinguish it, that this person is not coming inside. That's why, as much as that distinction is, you cannot come in between couples. So that's why,
Definitely,
if you think you can go and
definitely.
tell Abara twice something and then you want
Yeah,
to not,
yeah,
no, it's not there.
definitely,
So
definitely.
it's something that can be worked on. That's level of maturity to be able to hold confidential information, especially about your friends, vulnerable moments and all of that. Yeah, that's the part for couples.
Okay,
Is
thank
there
you
any?
very much. Olamide, yeah,
Yeah.
Olamide, because of time, so we just wrap up.
Okay, so I won't say a lot then, but I wanted to say that the first question was, how do you navigate vulnerability when it
Yeah,
comes to friendship? And the first thing that comes to mind is that even with vulnerability, yeah, it comes with levels. And sometimes we fail to understand that there should be levels to some things, and you just want to go in the deep dive with some people when you have not even tested to know if they can handle the little things, the small things. So when it comes to vulnerability, there are some things that you should have known based on track record, based on things you've been able to tell them. How did they handle it? How did that go? And then with time, you get to a place where you know that you can share like some really deep things with them. And as also, you have to know the person. based on maybe those interactions of knowing the levels of testing the waters and all those type of things, you would already know the kind of things that some people can handle. So that's answering the second question of, do you think vulnerability can ruin a friendship? Honestly, like, yes, it's possible, but it also depends on knowing the person. There are some people that you just can't tell some certain things because either because they're not mature enough, or just because they don't have the capacity yet. They're not yet wired in that sense. Maybe they don't even understand you enough. You can easily be misunderstood. Just different things. So knowing the person will also inform your state of knowing how deep or how much you can be vulnerable with that person. So just two things I'll say.
I want to add something. Can I add
Okay.
something?
Yes,
So
please.
thinking about this vulnerability part, right? So there's that part of you tell somebody something and you go hear it from another person. That one, like Abara said, if you tell me something to the part of me that it enters is one place that I don't know. Sometimes maybe I don't even have the key because I can be that I don't know how to put it, but I can just intentionally not look at it. But one side that I think a lot of people even miss out on is, even if the person doesn't tell someone else, there's how you can tell somebody something. You can be open to someone, be vulnerable to someone, and it feels like your rep drops.
Yeah.
So they did not tell somebody, but in your heart you are feeling like, oh, so this is how this person is. It requires a very, very high level of maturity for you to still maintain that status, to still see this person as human and you as being that person's friend, not judging. Because you can say you will not tell somebody, but you can have it in your heart that, oh, so this is how you are. Now I know. Now, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy that we're actually going deep into this conversation because um, vulnerability is one of the reasons friendships break. If we want to admit it or not, vulnerability is one of the main reasons friendships we lose friends. And Olaronke just said something very, very important, which I think it was Abara Abara alluded to the fact that you might be telling someone something, you're being vulnerable to them, and then the part of us that is human, the part of us that is human. I mean, you want to be empathetic. You want to be a good listener to your friend is telling you stuff. You want to actually listen and understand where they are coming from. But then there's another part that now goes, okay, so this person is like this. You're a very bad boy. You're a very bad girl. That sort of thing. But I think it also has to do with a lot of work for you as the listener now, not the person pouring out themselves to you. I've been in this thing of people telling me their deepest vulnerabilities for a very long time. The first instinct I would get as a normal human being would be, oh, this is how you are. I mean, leaders are held in very high esteem. They tell me things and I'll be like, wow, I'm very, very serious. Not just people I actually mentor, people that are my mentors. They tell me stuff and I'll be like, Jesus. Jesus,
You to
the God
follow.
actually, that I like, the God actually sent me to you. And we forget that even in the Bible, sorry, I keep quoting scriptures because that's my main reference, honestly. We forget that in the Bible, God sent Samuel to Eli, not because Eli was perfect, right? And God told me something one time. He said, the reason I send you to some people is not because they're actually perfect, it's because I wanted to learn the fact that they're also imperfect, learn those imperfections and make sure not to walk the same way they've walked, not because I really wanted to learn their perfection alone, right? So God sent Samuel to Eli, not because Eli was the perfect, in quote, man of God. So my first instinct as a leader would be to judge them, but it actually has to do with growth to an extent where people are open to you. I love it when people tell me that, and people say it a lot, that they enjoy talking to me, not because I'm someone that is a very good conversationist, if there's a word like that, if I'm correct, but because I actually want to hear them. I don't judge them, and I think it's something friendship should be about. Friends do not judge
Not
the other
just
person. The human instinct, trust me, is to be like, oh, let me judge you. But having an open mind to see where this person is coming from, because one thing I've also learned is the fact that the moment you start judging people, they recluse to themselves and then they begin to do worse than they actually are doing. So friendship should really be with an open mind, and then you're not vulnerable with everybody. everyone on the call, please understand this. You're not vulnerable with every single person. You're not meeting someone today and you're telling them your life history. I've seen people like that.
Please.
There is
Oh,
something called time vulnerability. There's something called mutual vulnerability. Even that mutual vulnerability has to do with levels. You're not telling someone you just met. Like maybe even someone you just met maybe several years before. You're telling them very deep things. People you're not in constant communication with. You do not understand that people grow. The fact that that person was the person you knew years ago does not mean they are the same person you would know today. People are actually growing.
yeah.
So you're not vulnerable to them in the sense that you'll be vulnerable with someone you actually speak to every day. So please, it's something we need to note in our generation.
Mm.
Please don't be vulnerable with AI. AI is not human. AI,
Yeah.
AI is not human. So it
So,
brings us to our next question. And I think every one of us on this call wants to be very sincere. We've had that moment where we've fallen out of friendships with somebody. I've fallen out of friendships with very good friends. In fact, I remember one of my friends, I fell out of friendship with him. He's a guy, and he actually betrayed me. I think he's the first person in my existence that I would say betrayed me. And he did something that was very unfriendly. It was not even about money. It was not about money. It was about something I don't want to mention on this call. But he actually betrayed me, and I found out about it. It was very bad. If I mentioned it on this call, I mean, everybody would be like, the action I took was very, very good. I had to message him. I was angry, like very angry, like extremely angry. If I had met that guy, like maybe face to face, I would have maybe punched him. I would have punched him. I knew it to show you the severity of what he did. I think if I punched him, he wouldn't have retaliated because he knew what he did was actually bad.
well,
I love the fact that he was self-aware to know that what he did was actually very hurtful, and he did that. And I just texted him on WhatsApp. This was 3 years ago. I told him we've been friends for more than 10 years. We've been friends, and I respected you as someone. I deeply loved you as a me. Okay, can you see hear me?
Yeah, just now.
Yes.
Okay. So I told him I respected him as a friend, and what he did really hurt me. He knew what he did, and I told him I'm not sure I'm in that frame of mind to still be friends with him, and that was where our friendship was going to end. It's not because maybe I would say someone that is a wise person, if he displays foolishness for just a minute, it doesn't mean that person is not a wise person. But someone that is foolish and displays wisdom for a minute does not mean that person is a wise person. He's a foolish person, and the other person is a wise person. So I didn't think he was actually a maybe foolish person. He just displayed foolishness for a minute. I told him, but then in that space of mind, I didn't want to be friends with him anymore. And I told him that, and that for me, that was falling out of friendship with him. Of course, he would go on to do. I wished him well, and he kept apologizing, and I had to block him. I had to actually block him at that time because what he did was very bad, and I fell out of friendship with him basically. And there are some friends too that I've fallen out of friendship with, not because I wanted to, or not because some most of them were not my fault. I want to say I want to believe I'm very self-aware to understand that some of these things are not my fault. You understand? Some of them were my fault, and I take accountability for them. But most of them were not my fault. But you've fallen out of friendship with people. Maybe they feel they've overgrown you, which is one popular one. That they've overgrown your friendship. Friendship, like Papa Oyedepo would say, 10 friends cannot play together for 10 years. I mean, 20 friends cannot play together for 20 years. They outgrow each other. So some friends outgrow each other. But then there are some friendships that are like just out of nowhere, the person just ghosts you and there are no explanations, just ghost and all that. So have you had those experiences? Outgrown, yeah. Have you had those experiences before? And how did you feel actually when you have this fallout with your friends? I'll start off with Olamide. Olamide, how did you feel? Have you had those situations before?
I feel like I'm always shocked when they call my name first.
Sorry, sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Um, okay. Yes,
Be
I'll say
real, oh, be
yes.
real, oh, be real, be real. Tell us the
That's what I'm
experience.
trying to think because I
Okay.
think it's easy for it will be easier for me to answer the question of why these things happen, why we seem to lose friendships. But trying to think about it in the context of myself and my past history with my friends. I think the last time I can say that I felt out of friendship with someone that was very close to was when I was way back in SS3. Yes, if I remember correctly. And that's because I mean I felt like we shared a value, like we were Christians, you know, working in the same team and all that. And then something happened in the school, like it was a school thing, it was our set issue, but I carried it on my head, in my mind. I don't know why. And my friends, like my friend at that time, were part of the, like they were on the other side, overly, in my opinion, I might be wrong. At that time, I felt like they were being overly righteous, and it's affected our dynamics as a set, because it was not like Christians against those people that are not really Christians, and I felt like that was just very unnecessary. And my friends, those guys that I was friends with, they were the spearheaders of that situation. So for me, I had to take a step back, you know, slowly. I don't think that was the wisest thing to have done. I think I had that issue of not tackling things. I used to run away from things. I just handle my thing by myself. So instead of going to them, having that discussion, telling them that they messed up, what they did was wrong, they should apologize and all that, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this with you guys. Oh, I'm out. I'm out. I mean, like, I think back on it now, I see that they are still friends. Like that, our clique, they are still friends, except me. And I wonder if I could have done things differently. Definitely, I know I should have done these things differently. But I was going to add one thing about why people lose friendship. I think it's because most times we are not discerning enough. We do it. One thing that would, oh, like, you always lose friends if you don't discern them, if you don't know why they are in your life, if you don't know what they are there for. Every friendship is not going to have the same dynamic. Everybody has different roles they're supposed to play in your life, and when you're not discerning enough, you will lose good friends, because the friends might come in very weird packages. They might just be annoying people on the outside. Everybody will think they're annoying. They might just be they might have some character flaws that you don't really like and all those type of things. But if you're not able to discern them, if you're not able to understand the assignment in your life, or yours, or your assignment in their life, you're just going to miss out on a lot of people. And then people will come into your life, and with time they'll just go, you'll be like, oh, I tried my best, or no, you maybe you didn't actually. And people will just go. You by yourself can just decide to walk out because you feel like they're not really that. Well, I mean, I prayed for, you know, powerful friends, all those type of things. It doesn't look like it, and all that. So if you're not able to discern people enough, we'll just lose friendships. And understanding also that friendships are seasonal. That's the truth. Not everybody will stay with you for life. That's just reality. That's even how it is. It is. That's how it's supposed to be. Because if you have been compiling your friendship list from your secondary school, you get to a point where there's no even space. Like, there's no space, my circle is full. I'm sorry.
That's
and
the
then
problem.
you will not lose good people that's supposed to come into your life in a season. That is why even if all of us on this call, we realize that we're not always close at every particular time. There's some time when your communication will not be all that great. That doesn't mean you've lost your friendship, but it's just that in that season there are other people that you might need to keep that communication going more than, and then another season will come so understanding seasons when it comes to friendship is also very, very important. So you don't lose them altogether. You can keep them around, maybe not too close, but keep them around instead of just throwing them out. So just understanding those two things, discernment and the season.
Thank you very much. Because of time, we are going to really, really rush this now. We should be out in 10 minutes. Okay, so I want to add to something Olamide has said. You see, for everyone on this call, I see a lot of people now admiring the friends of other people. They will be like, oh, I wish I was in that particular circle. And they do not understand that the fact that they're admiring that circle means that work has been done in that circle. It's the same thing as admiring one, that quote people use a lot.
The grass is greener on the other
No,
side.
no, no. The grass is greener, yeah. Oh, the grass is greener thing. It also applies to friendships where you admire other people's cliques and they are doing very. Why not grow your own clique? It's growable, so you don't have to admire. Your water age, you don't have to, and then don't be a toxic friend. We have a lot of toxic people now. Toxic people sharing toxicity all around. Like, you're the toxic person in your group. Every time you're always complaining. Like, I love firing people. Please don't be a toxic friend. Like, don't be that friend that if every single person is saying the same thing about you, it means you need to go back to the drawing board. You have to check yourself. The fact that every single person, it means you're being self-aware. Same thing Olamide is alluding to now. The fact that she said you should have she would have handled the situation better. Maybe if she was to time travel,
Yeah.
she would handle that situation better. A good trait of leaders is to be very, very self-aware, to know that, okay, I'm actually the problem. We don't want to admit that we are the problem, but sometimes you have to admit that you're actually the problem. And it doesn't take a lot to admit that you're the problem. So while we wrap up, I will ask Olamide and Olaronke and Abara the last question before we take the final question, which everyone goes to answer. And we've seen situations, two of you lead teams, Olaronke and Olamide, and Abara, you lead teams. We are friends with some of our team members. We are very close friends. So how do you navigate being a leader to them and also being their friend? The fact that someone cannot undermine your authority as a leader because as a leader of a team because it's basically your friend, right? How do you balance that? Because we are talking about how good friendships make us better leaders. So how do you balance that? The fact that you can be friends with some people, but you can also be their leader.
Okay. Let me try to take the first shot at this, and then
Okay.
I'll also learn from Ola. For me as a person, when it comes to all of these issues, so well, I'm not so structured, but I like to have things in perspective. Yes, we are friends, and then there's a work that has to be done. If something has to be done, we have to get it done, regardless of we have to get it done. And when it comes to leading, I am still thinking. I saw a post from Godney one day. Will you want to be the one who stand out or the ones under who drive this change? I'm still thinking because sometimes like it's complicated. But managing leadership and friendship, maybe the one that I might be better able to answer it in terms of maybe let's say me and my wife. And so, for example, I can't work in the same organization, in the same space. I'm very close proximity with my wife because it's going to blur the line. Like I like to treat you as a wife, and
Okay.
if I have to all of
That's
that, so
interesting.
that's the same thing with friendship. For example,
Okay.
Kingsley and I, if we have to do something together, okay, yes, we have to do that thing together. So we understand that this is the dynamics of this. We have to get it done and get it done. But outside this scope, maybe we are partners, business partners, and all of those. I think it's gray because I like to think straight. And when it comes to, I don't think emotions and profession, those two things, I don't try to mix the two together.
I think
Because the
you're
line
very.
will be blurred.
You seem like a very, very linear thinker. Like you're very, very linear.
Yeah.
Your
So
brain thinks very linear. I get that. Olaronke, please.
I would say if you had asked me this question, maybe 3-4 years ago, I would talk Abara. But over the years, I've learned that you can be both. But then it's with you as like knowing how to settle into each of those identities at the time. So when you're a leader, know that what needs to be done, know how it should be done. I'm not going to ask or talk like I've mastered it. Not at all I'm learning it, but I know it's possible because I've seen people do it. So I work with my husband in ministry, in his business, and we do things. We are very similar, like his interests are my interests too. So, but it's not been easy because that line, it can be crossed. Emotions, especially me being a woman and him being a man, there's the way people think. Men, there's the way people think. There's the way people think, and there's the way we think
Why are you
too.
pointing? Why are you
And
pointing accusing fingers?
no, I'm not pointing at you. I'm also talking about myself too. There's the way we think. So no, just clearly knowing that role and the identity that fits into that role, I think it will clear the air.
Yeah.
Then putting in structures that allows for boundaries and being able to carry out the responsibilities.
Yeah.
I think if you're able to do those things,
Olaronke, before you
it will
end
help.
that thought, add another layer to you and your husband dynamics. Say you are reporting to, there's a higher authority that both are reporting to. That your husband reports to or something. So you see where it becomes more complex. It might be easier if, for example, you're running a ministry, but when it comes to, let's say this job is not your, people do it though, and I admire them a lot. But I don't want to put myself in that position.
There is that. So it starts with our, like, it starts with okay, now if I'm talking about marriage, now in the marriage context, right? That's with our goals, our purpose. So there's something we're working together with, working towards, right? Once that
Yeah.
other third party comes in that we have to report to someone, somehow I take like my husband takes the front row. I don't, and if there's a case where I have to, then I have to drop. So I like it's that clear because I've been in that situation. There was a time I had to stop something because it was contradicting with it was almost bringing my marriage into the picture, and that is a no-go area for me. So I had to like cut it off because this is this is that. So when that third party dynamics comes in, you as a couple, if it doesn't fit into where you are going to, then you have to call off the shots. That boundary thing, you just raise the flag and be I just realized it so that everybody
Olamide,
can see. Yeah.
Olamide,
Yeah.
just something to say before we just ask the last question.
No, I was just listening to them to just know what
Okay,
I mean.
okay,
I think that
okay.
there are situations where that has happened, but like you said, understanding and setting structures. And also knowing the
Okay.
person, like if you don't, yeah, I think I'll just they've answered the question beautifully. I don't have
Yeah, I love the fact that they are both married, so they're able to bring personal
yes.
experiences and work experiences too. So, the final question now before we wrap up tonight, I am very, very excited about. I've been excited about this session, and I'm very definitely our audience has as well. Now, the final question tonight to everyone. I think Abara has left the call. My question will be if you were to leave one word for this for our audience tonight, what would it be about friendships? What would your one word be about friendships? We are talking about the friendship advantage, how being having great relationships can make us better leaders. So if you were to leave one word for our audience tonight, what would your one word be in a sentence before we wrap up?
In a sentence, I would say
Yeah.
friendships are important. Don't let anybody or anything tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
In a sentence,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Friendships are important. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay.
Yeah.
Olaronke.
For me, which is something that I think I'm even talking to myself to as I'm talking to other leaders, it is become that
Okay.
friend that you want somebody to be to you. You should work on becoming that kind of friend. The kind of friend you want
Mm.
people to be to you. Work on becoming that kind of friend. It's easier that way. You would find someone like that when you are that person.
Yeah.
So take
Mm.
up the
Okay.
responsibility.
Okay. Amazing. I wish Abara was on the call. I'm trying to accept him back, but Instagram doing what it does best. So for me, if I would have a word for the three of you have really amazingly blown my mind tonight. And of course, I have the best friends in the world. I want to believe I have the best friends. Anyone can dispute that. I'm not admiring any other person's friends. I have the best friends in the world. And yes, you guys have amazed me tonight as always. So if I would leave one word for everyone tonight, it would be the fact that to be a good friend to someone, you actually have to be a good person yourself. Yes, so it would be a good person, be a good person, depending on whatever way you define goodness to be. But just be a good person. Don't be someone that hurts people. Don't be someone that people when people hear your name, they actually run away from you. Of course, even if you're a good person, there are some people that would actually do not they don't like goodness. They don't like goodness. So just still be a good person, regardless of whatever evil is going on in the world. Be a good person. And these things attracts people to you. People that tell me they don't have friends, I feel you're not there's actually something wrong. When you're a good person, you attract these things, you attract goodness to yourself, you attract good things, you attract good people. Call me superstitious, but I've seen it work several times. So just be a good person. Don't be a bad person. You yourself, you know if you're a bad person. You think Olamide is smiling somehow. Olamide, are you a bad person? The way
I'm
you're
not
smiling.
like see this man. See, same be a good person. He said one sentence. If I've written books, yeah, 5 paragraphs.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
It's
be a good
okay.
person. be a good person. But it's been lovely having you all on the call tonight. I've enjoyed myself, and I really hope you have too. I hope I've been a great moderator. I don't really like moderating, but
Next
Olaronke did
time
what
you
she
are the
did.
one. You have shown your
Olaronke did
talent
what she
today.
did. Yeah, which
You're so
talent.
well.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. So this is the fourth institute. We talk about leadership, but we just thought to talk about friendships today. So follow our page. Follow our page. We have the fourth institute everywhere. We're the fourth institute. So follow our page. We talk about leadership. Like I said, we're raising better leaders for the continent of Africa to just be better leaders basically. And yes, friendship is one of the ways to become better leaders. So follow our pages and follow the work we do, support the work we do. Go to Abara, you see a link. Just click that link to find out more about the work we do. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been lovely being your host tonight. About amazing guest, Abara, Olamide, Olaronke. Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank you
very
for having
much. One day we'll be together doing this physically by God's grace. So thank you very much, and
me.
have a lovely night rest.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
Yeah,
for having us.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah, yeah.
Enjoy.
Good night.